In historic vote, Ohio City residents grant Lake Erie the legal rights of a person. So what's going on here? Tired of receiving notices warning that their drinking water may have been compromised and having little recourse to fight corporate polluters, voters in Toledo, Ohio on Tuesday approved a measure granting Lake Erie some of the same legal rights as a human being. 61% of voters in Tuesday's special election voted in favor of Lake Erie's Bill of Rights, which allows residents to take legal action against entities that violate the lake's rights to flourish and naturally evolve without interference. Toledoans, I'm assuming that's how you say it, Toledoans for Safe Water led a years-long campaign to convince voters that their city's charter must be amended to ensure that the environmental burden carried by the lake, which provides drinking water to 12 million Americans and Canadians, must be reduced. Beginning today with this historic vote, the people of Toledo and our allies are ushering in a new era of environmental rights by securing the rights of Great Lake Erie, said Marky Miller of Toledo Folks for Safe Water. Under the Bill of Rights, residents will now have legal standing in court to sue corporate polluters on behalf of Lake Erie and to seek damages which will be used to rid the lake of pollution. The initiative was modeled on rights to nature laws which have passed in Lafayette, Colorado by the Ponca Nation of Oklahoma and the Chippewa Nation in Minnesota, and countries including India and Nepal. So they began their campaign in 2016 in response to the drinking water crisis in the area 2 years earlier. 500,000 residents of the Toledo area were advised not to drink or use their tap water for 3 days due to a toxic algae. People need to start relying on our democracy to hold polluters accountable. That's awesome. What Toledo voters and other places working on rights of nature are hoping is to not only change laws, but to change culture. Tish O'Dell, an organizer with the Community Environmental Legal Defense Fund, which assisted the local campaigners, told The Progressive, "So much of our way of thinking about our relationship with nature has to change. We are not separate from nature, but part of nature. Nature is living, and that right to thrive, flourish, and be healthy needs to be recognized. Nature doesn't need us to survive, but we need nature to survive." Well said. Well said. And the big moral here is, you know where the power is? Locally. That's where the power is. The people of Toledo, they're going to have cleaner drinking water. They're going to hold the polluters accountable. Why? Because they rallied locally and they got legislation passed. And they had a coalition. They had a coalition of activists, of people, and they got this done. And that's how it happens. You know, when I was in Pittsburgh, I saw it in my community where my parents lived. There was a really progressive mayor who is sadly no longer with us. He got a big base together. He rallied some folks. They passed a drilling ban in the community. I sleep a little easier at night knowing that my parents don't have to worry about their drinking water. Well, I mean, they do, but not, you know what I mean. It could be a lot worse because there's a drilling ban in their community. So they don't have to worry about drilling going on in their community. That's nothing I have to worry about. And it's because of local action. Same with the city of Pittsburgh. The city of Pittsburgh got a drilling ban as well. Why? Because the community rallied, forced the drilling ban. The mayor at the time didn't want it. The current mayor does, but the mayor at the time didn't want it. They got it through anyway. So, you know, the power is local and we got to go local. Because that's the only way we can fight back. And when you go local and you really rally, you can beat big oil. Look at what Gail McLaughlin did in Richmond, California. Fuck that one up. Richmond, California. Both wonderful places. Richmond, California and Richmond, Virginia. Both really cool towns. But Richmond, California is the one we're talking about. So, I guess that's a positive way to sort of end the week. Go local, you guys. And good for Toledo. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your